Thanks for choosing us. Tonight, the minority in Parliament is sending a strong warning to the majority ahead of the resumption of Parliament, indicating they will not allow government to rush any bill through the House under certificate of urgency. The caution comes as part of the opposition's measure to escalate their duty of holding government accountable. The minority leader, Alexander Feyomarkin, sent this message during a media engagement in Parliament to account for the minority's stewardship in and outside Parliament in the holding of the John Mahama administration to account. James Aveji has more in the following report.
The minority's latest engagement to account for their stewardship in holding the John Mahama government to check in the last year featured their verdict on key issues both in and out of Parliament. The first took on the Gold Board and the Bank of Ghana, describing the $240 million loss in the Gold for Reserve program in 2025 as a financial loss to the state.
Let me remind the Central Bank that His Lordship, Justice Afre of blessed memory, in the Salome case, laid down the ground rules, especially the true definition of causing financial loss. The Central Bank must not forget this. What is happening amount to a financial loss to the state. We also want to say that we filed a motion in Parliament. We have become aware that the Speaker has admitted the motion, which would allow for broader engagement and consultation on this matter. We urge the various stakeholders in this Gold for Oil Reserve to open up to hear our views so that together we can move this country forward.
On their work in Parliament, the minority maintained that the majority's position against the anti-gay matters and the push for the anti-LGBTQI bill in 2024 was deceitful, as they failed to push the bill through 1 year after assuming power.
We hold the view that the NDC used the anti-LGBT law only for power. And now that they are facing the reality, they want to find a way of running away from it. We will insist that they act by their own principle.
The minority leader warned that his side would not tolerate any more move to rush other bills through the House under certificate of urgency.
A rubber stamp parliament where everything comes under certificate of urgency. Yes. They should be ready to beat us in the chamber. We will resist with all the energy in us. No more certificate of urgency.
They also boycott a scheduled meeting between Chief Justice Paul Bafoboni and Parliament leadership. This is their reason.
Is he on a thank you tour? Is my Lord Bafoboni on a thank you tour, thanking the government for appointing him as a Chief Justice? And we hear today he is coming to Parliament. We, the minority, don't see him as a tolerant head of the judiciary, because members of the minority came under attack when we criticized the processes leading to his nomination. We will therefore not be part of his thank you tour. If he wants to engage us, our offices are open. He should come and engage us, and we'll let him know things that we find wrong.
All eyes are on Alexander Feyomarkin and his side of the House on what posture they will adopt in enforcing this threat as Parliament reconvenes in early February. James Aveji, Parliament House, Accra.
Away from Parliament, the judge presiding over the case involving multimedia group journalist Lateef Idrisu, the Ghana Police Service and the Attorney General, Idora Christiana Datsun, has expressed disappointment over the continued failure of the defense to present a witness. The protracted legal battle, which has spanned more than 8 years, has suffered several adjournments due to the persistent inability of the defense to call a witness, raising concerns about the timely conclusion of the case, Fatal Bayaga, was in court today and reports.
Today was supposed to be the continuation of Lateef Idris's assault case, which has been running since 2017. He was assaulted by some police officers at the CID headquarters and line of duty. This particular case has adjourned multiple times. Last week, for instance, the court was supposed to sit on this case, but the judge was compelled to adjourn the case because the defense failed to present a witness. In court today, the representative of the Attorney General, Nancy Nita Chumesi Esiama, says that the witness was supposed to be in court, but she received a call at the 11th hour that he was handling issues in relation to the police recruitment, and for that reason he wouldn't be able to come to court today, and that he would be in court tomorrow. Responding to this, the trial judge Eudora Christina Datson expressed disappointment over the continuous failure of the defense to present a witness. In fact, she says that the defense claims that they have 3 witnesses. So if Stephen Billy Adum is not availing himself to the court, why didn't they get another person for the continuation of the case? After the court sitting, lawyer for the journalist Samson Ladi Ayeneni says that the case has delayed unduly.
Left to me, it would have been done the same year the suit was filed. But as you can see, some of these things happen. But I didn't expect that we'll travel 8 years and still be here having adjournment. I'm sure you heard what the judge said. The judge is not happy. This will be the 4th or 5th judge who is taking over the matter, and she's clearly unhappy about it. You know, you heard her, what she said, that, you know, again, adjourning again, and this will be whatever. So clearly she's not happy.
Reporting for Joy News from the High Court here in Accra, I'm Fatal Bayaga.
Still in court, a legal battle is brewing over the operations of the newly announced Ghana Law Society after a private legal practitioner, Yao Enimwedu, filed an application at the High Court seeking to suspend its activities with immediate effect. The following report has more.
A private legal practitioner, Yao Enimwedu, filed an application at the High Court challenging the legality of the Ghana Law Society. This follows the declaration by the Ghana Law Society that it received accreditation from the General Legal Council. But in a press conference today, the president of the Ghana Law Society, Roxanne Nelson Defemoko, says that they would officially announce to the public about this formalization after the court determines this case.
There's supposed to be a motion or notice slated for hearing on the 4th. Is 4th, great. 4th of February. And today is the 26th. And so maybe a week or so away. So it won't hurt, it's not fatal to the work that we do as an association. To wait for 10 more days or 8 more days. It's not fatal.
He also stated that despite this particular application, they are not going to halt the activities. Does that mean that you are going to put all your activities on hold until the court determines this particular case?
No, I believe that if you read the process that we have cited, one of the key prayer is for this particular press conference not to be had. So that being the case, we are also particular in that regard. But why? Our activities not to be had, so we can't even eat in our offices as members. We can't even sweep our offices. We can't on our computers and look at cases. Because as a professional group of lawyers, we research.
Roxanne Nelson, the Femiko, also the band claims that the association has been formed by an NDC group to champion the interests of the party.
Does the Constitution bar NDC from forming a group? It does not. So,
is it an NDC group?
By parity of reasoning, is the Ghana Bar Association an MPP group? Do you understand? So when people say those things, you ought to put the question in the converse. Is the Ghana Bar Association a group of MPP lawyers? Is that why they are worried? So we are not a group of NDC lawyers. We are a group of Ghanaian lawyers who have come to the bitter realization that the Ghana Bar Association has lost its luster and glamour.
This accreditation, according to the Ghana Law Society, will break the monopoly of the Ghana Bar Association in the legal professional practice. For Joy News, Fatau Bayaga, Accra.
There are plans to fence and plant trees along Bush Road in the Ladade Kotoko municipality after the completion of an ongoing demolition exercise. The Director General of NADMO has been actually leading a team of military men and NADMO officials to pull down structures on the Peshikpong area to ensure free flow of water. The operation is aimed at protecting the lagoon and mitigating flooding ahead of the rainy season. There's more in the following report.
So I am currently on the Bush Road, the Dade Kotopo municipality, where there's an ongoing demolition exercise by NADMO in collaboration with the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council. We understand that NADMO has been doing an assessment of flood-prone areas in Accra, and today they are here to demolish the structures here. Some people have been displaced, and they say that they were not given any notice about this particular demolition exercise. I'm here with the regional minister, Lindo Klu, who will be telling us more about this exercise.
Today we are here at Speshi, and the lagoon is just closed. In fact, initially this is where the lagoon ends, but they managed to fill the place, and today here we are. And so we are trying to protect the waterways and make sure that when it rains, I mean, the rain will get its natural flow, so I wouldn't have any flooding in the region.
There are some affected people here as well. They want to talk to us. Now they've been saying that the minister or the NADMO did not give them prior notice.
But they don't even assure us that they will come today. And here, secondly, here is not Labadi Bush Road. Here is Tashi Bush Road. And then they said they are going to Labadi. So we don't know the reason why they are coming and started the demolition over here.
What about you? What do you do here?
Hey, I have a shop here, and I just sell some provision things like toffees and banana and things inside. And yes, now they have never informed us. But as this morning we came, they are demolishing our things just like that, and they are telling us they are informers, and which is not true.
I'm sure you've heard your constituents. They're not happy about what is going on. What can you say to that?
For the fact that we need to sit down, have a design to ensure that people can apply their activities in a very cordial way. But what we see now is a nuisance, to be honest. And notice has been served. The assembly has served notice several times.
You see the debris. We are told that after the exercise, they are going to clear the debris. Everything is going to go, and they're going to plant some plants here so that the place will become green again and the Peshi Lagoon can flow freely. That's the plan of NADMO and the Regional Coordinating Council.
We can now hear from the Director General of NADMO, Major Retired Joseph Bikani Kunyon, on the demolition exercise. He has vowed to do all he can to ensure that the Peshi Lagoon returns to its original state.
We started last year at the various Ramsar sites in Accra. Unfortunately for us, our machines got broken down along the line. And I don't know whether by conspiracy we were told that people are not ready to rent their machines to us to continue with this work. Luckily, we'll be able to fix our own machines, and that's why we are assuming. So it's not a new exercise, it's a continuation of what we started last year. And I think that it is necessary to do this for the good of the community. We don't have to listen to the few individuals who have interests here to the detriment of the safety of our community. And that's why we are continuing with the exercise.
Well, let's go on the phone lines now and speak to the MC for the area, Alfredo Zini. Thank you so much for your time here on JoyNews Prime. Now, we understand that this was done by NADMO. As the MCE for the area, I'm sure you were informed about the demolition exercise, but residents say they were not informed.
the assembly itself.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Now I can. If you could please speak up for us. I was wondering, residents say they were not aware of this exercise.
Okay, so I was saying that we dispatched our announcement vans to go around the community to communicate to our people the impending exercise that took place today. So it's been done. It started happening since last Monday till over the weekend. So I actually am surprised when I hear some people say they did not hear the announcement or get a notice that we're going to have an exercise in the territory.
And do you have an idea the number of individuals that were affected today by the exercise?
On the top of my head, no, I cannot. But there were various temporary structures along the stretch that many deemed inappropriate because of sanitary and environmental issues. So when NADMO approached us to cooperate and assist in communicating and then mobilizing to have the place sanitized, as part of the research agenda of Excellency the President, we felt obliged to assist because it was going to be in the interest of the community to help us prevent flooding whenever the rains come in.
Our reporter engaged a car rental owner operating in the enclave, and he says that he had permit from the assembly to operate there. Can you confirm this for us?
Yes, I can say they had a temporary permit when I assumed office. I asked for it and they showed me, but it is called a temporary permit. It is just temporary for a short period of time. So they approached me over the period and we had discussions. I've told them several times that enclave very close to the lagoon is inappropriate. So they should go around the municipality and we assist them to find a good location for them to relocate. And I was magnanimous on that. I've given them timelines and varied the timeline. So as of last December, they should have evacuated from that site. So yes, even though they are our friends, our clients, etc., I mean everything has timeline. So when it gets to a certain point, we just have to let the law work. So we don't get too close to the rainy season and then we'll have issues now. We have to now call NADMO to come and rescue people when there's flooding, etc.
Mr. Alfredos, thank you for your time here on JoyNews Prime. Away from that, the Data Protection Commission has vowed to strictly enforce Data Protection Act, warning that the 2026 Act will be marked by rigorous compliance checks and sanctions for defaulting institutions. Speaking at the launch of the Data Protection Week, the Commission noted that the move is part of efforts to protect personal data and strengthen public confidence in Ghana's digital ecosystem as data breaches and misuse of personal information continue to rise. Michelle Latte has more in the following report.
The 2026 Data Protection Week is focused on strengthening data privacy, improving compliance and enforcing Ghana's data protection laws. Speaking at the launch in Accra, the Executive Director of the Data Protection Commission, Dr. Arnold Kavapo, stressed that the Commission will intensify regulatory actions to ensure that all data controllers fully comply with the Data Protection Act.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, whilst we are celebrating Data Protection Week, it is important to self-notice that 2026 will be a year of enforcement. Let me repeat. It is important to self-notice that 2026 will be a year of enforcement. The Data Protection Act is clear. Clause 27 provides that a data controller who intends to process personal data must register with the Data Protection Commission. We see it again in Clause 46, 3 and 56, which further emphasize that compliance requirements for lawful data processing. Members of the media, the Act also provides consequences for non-compliance when it comes to registration with the Commission. So Clause 56 prescribes penalties and fines. That includes fines and imprisonment for people that actually fall under law.
Meanwhile, the Deputy Minister for Communications, Mohammed Adam Suparu, has pledged the government's commitment to supporting the Commission in the discharge of its mandate. He says the ministry will work closely with the Commission to strengthen compliance across both private and public institutions.
Government remains committed to supporting the Data Protection Commission in carrying out its mandate, strengthening compliances across both the public and private sectors, and promoting responsible innovation. We encourage all institutions to work closely with the Commission to uphold the principle of the Data Protection Act. With this assurance of government's continuous support, and on behalf of the Minister for Communication and Digital Technology, Honorable Samuel Nate George, it is my honor to formally declare Data Protection Week 2026 officially launched. Thank you very much.
The Commission says the move is aimed at safeguarding personal data and strengthening trust in Ghana's digital future. For Joy News, Michelle Olate.
Let's head now to the Ashanti region, where artisans and residents of Kwadaso in the Ashanti region are requesting the government to expedite processes to dispatch a fire tender to the only fire station which has for years operated without functioning fire trucks. The appeal follows a devastating fire that swept through a cluster of mechanic shops at Sofo Line, which destroyed 35 vehicles and 24 shops. Visiting the victims a day after the inferno, the Ashanti Regional Minister, Dr. Frank Amwakohene, pledged that government will support the victims moving forward. The following report has more.
Plumes of smoke continue to emanate from the pockets of fire less than 24 hours after fire swept through the Sofo Line automobile repair shop. Fleets of cars worth thousands of cedis sit in ruins as the artisans salvage remnants of the devastating fire. The fire reportedly broke out at about 7 p.m. on Sunday. Although the cause of the fire is yet to be established, the artisans attribute the blaze to an unattended refuse burning which spread through the highly combustible area. We thought it was someone burning some refuse only to come and meet a huge fire. We rushed to douse it. We even called the fire service, but when they arrived, they have no water.
Yeah, last boy, we'll be the car blenders when you're home.
One of my colleagues had just received a foreign car to work on, but it has been burnt. It is now a burden on him. 3 people collapsed, 2 are currently at the hospital. The gravity of the inferno saw more than 30 vehicles and over 20 shops operating within the precinct reduced to ashes. Gabriel Mifitu is the acting operations manager of the NADMO office at the Kwadaso municipality.
Damages that will cause 35 cars and then 24 containers. The containers are things that they have been using for the cars here.
Okay, so combustibles are included?
Yes, yes. We are still investigating for the cause of the fire.
The only fire station in the area is reportedly without an active tender. The artisans and other residents are requesting that the government equips the facility with adequate firefighting gears.
We have the station all right, but there is no fire tender to save the community. And then I spoke to the regional commander last week, and he says the car is faulty and then they are maintaining it. So in no time, you see it at the station.
Ashanti Regional Minister Dr. Frank Amwakohene, who visited the affected artisans, pledged government support and assured of dispatching firefighting tools to the area.
Our forcing made an announcement that we procuring 100 fire tenders to support the fire station. Definitely when the 100 fire tenders are ready, Ashanti region, our share of it definitely will be made available to us.
And so for the many artisans or mechanics who operate within this particular premises, they are hoping for government intervention as soon as possible. And so for the time being, they are trying to salvage the little that they can. From here at Kwadaso in the Ashanti region, for Joy News, my name is Emmanuel. Right quickly.
Yes, so watching JoyNews Prime. Please stay with us. We'll be right back after this quick turn. let's shift our attention now to politics. Professor Frimpong Boateng and two others have dragged the NPP, the NDC and CPP to the Supreme Court, challenging the delegate-based electoral systems used by these parties. They are asking the court to declare these systems unconstitutional and push for internal election that allow all members to participate equally and directly. The delegate system has been criticized for limiting popular participation, encouraging vote buying and favoring candidates with financial resources. The plaintiffs argue that this system undermines democracy and excludes many party members from the decision-making process. Well, my colleague Michael Ashali has been going through the document. He joins me in the studio with more on that. Michael, who are the other plaintiffs and what exactly is the argument?
So we know that Professor Frimpong Boateng, who is a member of the NPP, we also know that Nyawo Tamaklo is also then this one Christian who is a former member of Minister of State of the country. But essentially, foresee the argument, the heart of the case is Article 55, Clause 5 of the 1992 Constitution, which clearly says that the internal organization of a political party shall conform to democratic principles and its actions and purposes shall not contravene or be inconsistent with this Constitution or any other law. The three individuals come to the conclusion that because the majority of the political parties, specifically these three political parties, because they operate a delegate-based system in appointing either their presidential candidates or parliamentary candidates, then they feel that some people have been disenfranchised in the process.
And I know that they also cite specific provisions in the different political parties' constitution to back their points. Tell us more.
Yeah, so starting with the New Patriotic Party, the plaintiffs point to Article 13 of the NPP Constitution, which talks about several items. Now, they say that while the member can be applied to contest, the final choice of presidential candidate is made by a limited electoral college, and voting for them is restricted to party executives, office holders, elders, MPs, ministers, TESCON representatives, and selected delegates. Ordinarily, ordinary members who hold no office are excluded in such a process. And for parliamentary candidates in the NPP, Article 7 establishes an extraordinary constituency delegates conference. Again, voting is limited to executives, coordinators, polling station officers, elders, patrons, and a few others who, of course, who may not hold full membership. And again, everybody in the party does not vote on that. If you go to the NDC, the National Democratic Congress, the plaintiffs say the party currently operates a delegate-based electoral college under Articles 43 and 44 of the Constitution. They acknowledge that the NDC once introduced universal suffrage in 2015, allowing all registered members to vote, but the party later reversed that decision and returned to a restricted electoral college in 2019. As it stands now, they argue that voting is confined to executives, office holders, and selected delegates, excluding the wider membership. Not everyone within the NDC, or not everybody who has a card as an NDC member gets to decide who becomes the next John Mahama or becomes the next MP for their area if you are an NDC member. For the CPP, which is a Conventions People's Party, the rate points to Articles 96 and 77. The CPP's presidential candidate is elected by National Delegates Congress, not by the general membership. That Congress is made up of executives, elders, constituency officers, and selected representatives. Ordinary members, again, notably, without positions, are not allowed to vote. The same applies at the constituency level for parliamentary candidates, where voting is limited to a constituency branch party conference made up of specific office holders for stay.
So finally, what reliefs are they seeking in court?
So first, if you look at the reliefs that they are seeking for, about 8 of them that they are essentially asking the courts to rule on. But the major 3 are these: declaration that the delegate-based systems are unconstitutional, null, void, and of no effect. Again, they want the Supreme Court to strike down all provisions in constitutions that restrict elections to limited electoral college or delegate bodies. And then finally, order to amend constitutions to allow equal, direct, meaningful participation of all members in good standings. So essentially, these are the 3 things that they're asking. And in short, they want everybody who holds a card as part of any political party, should be able to decide who becomes the next flag bearer or presidential candidate of the party, and also should decide who should represent the party at the constituency level as the member of parliament.
And wait to see how the court will rule on that case. Well, away from that, let's take you now to the northern region. Across northern Ghana, the Shea nut tree has been a symbol of survival for women, providing income, food and dignity. But today, that lifeline is drying up. Rising temperatures, erratic rains and changing weather patterns are leaving the shea trees barren, forcing women to abandon their villages. Many now migrate to the south, working as head porters, or kaya, as you may know, in bustling city markets. They carry heavy loads for little pay, forcing the hardship to continue in their lives. Now, this is all because the land they once depended on can no longer sustain them. This is a story of how bad the weather is pushing women from shea fields into the harsh reality of the streets. The following report by Mahmoud Nuruddin has more.
The rains no longer fall as they used to. The land is drying, and the shea trees, the backbone of women's income in northern Ghana, are dying. Now, the same women who once lived off these trees are struggling for survival in Ghana's cities. Mariam Hadi is a former shea nut collector.
Initially, picking shea nut was a profitable venture for me, generating between 500 and 1,000 cedis monthly. However, the business I invested in didn't thrive due to the decline of the shea nut industry. As a result, I had to relocate to Kumasi and take up work as a porter to make ends meet.
Mariam is one of thousands once shea nut collectors, now head porters, working long hours for very little.
What I'm doing here is tough. Back home, being a shea nut collector was good.
3 young women, 3 different communities, but the same reason for leaving home. The shea trees no longer fruit. Mariam Isako is another former shea collector. Mariam has left her husband and children back home.
Carrying heavy loads can cause neck and body pains, although some days you might be fortunate and get a lighter load.
My name is Suleimana Mariam.
My name is Suleimana Mariam. The work here is difficult, but shea nut collection was a lucrative business. The problem is they are scarce now.
Scientists say the problem is deeper than poverty. The weather is changing and the trees cannot survive. Dr. Regina Tang Guru is the head of Forest and Climate Change Division at the CSIR Forestry Research Institute of Ghana.
Increased temperature and reduced rainfall, which is drought, are definitely going to have a stress on the plant, and that affects various physiological properties of the tree. In terms of its growth, in terms of its fruiting patterns, we've already talked about the yields. So these are some of the stresses that we can expect.
The Global Shea Alliance, through the Ghana Shea Landscape Emission Reductions Project, combines protection of existing trees with large-scale replanting.
We are raising, like every year, we seed, that is, we put into polypots about 1.5 million, right? And we get about 50% of that germinating, and another 75% of the 50 surviving before we graft some.
As the shea trees die, more women and girls will be forced to leave home, but with the right support, the trees can return, and so can the livelihoods of northern Ghana's women.
This story is brought to you by JoyNews in partnership with CDKN Ghana, University of Ghana Center for Climate Change and Sustainability Studies, with funding from Claire R41 Opportunities Fund.
Away from that, Chinese firm Ponlook Group has officially opened a state-of-the-art glass and aluminium complex in Tema, promising to create jobs, offer skills, training, and bring lasting investment to Ghana's construction and design sector. General Manager Robert Mensah says the facility goes beyond expansion, reflecting the company's unwavering commitment to quality experience, excellence, and innovation in the local market.
Sunlight pouring through wide glass windows, aluminum frames lining homes, offices, and storefronts. Across Ghana's cities, glass and aluminum are no longer just building materials. They are fast becoming a design statement for modern living and workspaces. As demand grows for sleek, durable finishes, companies supplying these materials are expanding to keep pace. After 3 years of establishing itself in the local market, Chinese firm Ponlock has opened a state-of-the-art complex at Tema Community 23, bringing production, offices, and a showroom under one roof. Speaking at the opening, chairman of the Ponlock Group, Yang Diahong, reaffirmed the company's long-term commitment in Ghana, saying the firm is confident about its future in the country.
We are very confident about our business in Ghana. In the future, Ponlock will continue to respect the local culture. We will treat more local people and help the industry grow.
For General Manager Robert Mensah, the new complex goes beyond expansion. He says it reflects Ponlock's drive for quality and excellence in the glass and aluminum industry.
This showroom and offices represent our commitment to quality, innovation, and excellence in glass industry. We are excited the future and look forward to stronger partnership, greater innovation, and continued growth.
Marketing manager for Baobab Alutech, Enoch Asa, says strict quality control remains a non-negotiable priority.
We have skilled engineers, very young skilled engineers, who are always on standby to help you choose options and then have a very comfortable life in your homes. Every glass that leaves our factory is tempered. So we do curtain wall, we do double glazing, we do lamination, what have you.
Some clients who are at the opening said it is the company's focus on quality and timely delivery that sets it apart in a competitive market.
Me being an aluminum man, their services are exceptional. Actually, at times you put in order, in a day or two, you get your orders.
Their services are very good, quality. They've worked for us before, and we like their work.
Beyond production, branch manager of the Fidelity Bank head office, N.S. Bona, says Ponlock is also contributing to skills transfer by offering training opportunities for young Ghanaians, especially students from technical universities.
They produce quality products. They use precision, machines, and they are giving opportunity to Ghanaians who are in the technical universities, opportunity to, learn from them and also be able to produce quality products for the Ghanaian housing industry.
For Ponlock, the new complex signals growth and long-term investment. For the industry, it points to a more competitive future. For Joy News, Evelyn Ampers reports, read to you.